Hey guys, what I wanted to do today was review one of my favorite movies. It came out 2011. What I just ripped up was a synopsis because I just ripped it up because this is probably my fourth time trying to record this, but you didn't hear that from me. And I wanted to review this movie because it came out 2011, September 16th. I watched it last January. I watched it 8 more times after that, and I thought it was movie to review. I thought it was, one of my favorite movies. I consider it a 10 out of 10. Maybe a few other people do. But, 2011, back when it came out, I guess it wasn't that known. And then it just grew over time, just with merchandise, I guess, with the music that was used in it, just the scenes, the actors. It grew because the actors grew, and, people checked, I guess, they saw in their filmography or whatever you want to call it, whatever you saw, everything ties back to that movie, whatever actor played in it, because it was big. It started out small and it just grew. It was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, and I'm going to tell you a few of my favorite scenes, why I liked it, just a few things about it. In my opinion, the intro scene was really nice. It started out slow, which is what I like sometimes in a movie. I don't like a movie that's just crazy left and right. It featured a really good song. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, Kavinsky, Night Call by Kavinsky. And that song is like a techno, electronic music basically, used in that scene. And that carried on from the end of the getaway chase in the intro of the movie, carrying on into the apartment. And it was just really cool, especially seeing LA in the background, Los Angeles, and it was a really cool thing to see. Another thing, moving on to the next part, a few other scenes. This video is going to have spoilers in it, by the way, so just saying now, if you didn't watch the movie yet, go watch it and then watch this. This isn't going to be long either, so. The elevator scene was good. The elevator scene, by the way, if you want to look it up, just look up Drive elevator scene, or I'll play the clip sometime in this video. No promises, but maybe if I'm in the mood, I'll probably throw it in here, and you'll be able to see it. But I'll explain it right now. It's a man who was sent out to kill the driver, the character in the movie, and his girlfriend basically, or his girl that he was protecting in the scene, and they were in an elevator, and he was sent out to kill them. So the driver basically stomped his head in the elevator because he realized he had a gun, and he wanted to kill him. It was quiet. I mean, it wasn't really like a big, action with crazy music and explosions. It was just like, I guess a few other movies. It was just like, some people say this movie takes a lot of cliches from other movies, like Cars, but they dumb it down a bit. It's not as much as something as you would see where a car would flip and there'd be an explosion, and the car would flip and lay where it is, or a car would flip and the people, I guess, would die inside. It's a little, I guess, more realistic, or and then they'll, put emphasis on other scenes, such as gore, certain things like Christina Hendricks from Mad Men at one point of the movie has her brains blown out, like through the window of a hotel, and that's just like you see your brain exploding everywhere. That's just another cool thing. But back to what I said about the scenes and the soundtrack. The neo-noir of the whole movie, like the neo-noir aspect, was really well done. The soundtrack, everything about it, just I completely understand why a bunch of people liked it and they consider it amazing. I guess the choreographed fights, you could say. I mean, it wasn't really fights, it was really just the driver beating up people. It wasn't really a battle much. I mean, I guess you consider the ending kind of a battle. I'll get into that towards the end of the video. But, yeah, it's really just him just being a badass and just going around doing what he needs to do. I mean, he'll hit challenges. It's not long of a movie. It's an hour 43, I think. But, it's just worth watching. It's just something that I think everybody should check out, because it has different aspects that people will like. Like, even if you didn't like the whole movie, you'll be like, oh yeah, but I like that one part. It's just showing, you could a lot of people say it's like a superhero movie, especially when you find out, you know, how he has a stunt driver job, and he takes that mask to kill Nino, Ron Perlman, from Sons of Anarchy in the movie, and he wears it as if it was a superhero mask. Even Ryan Gosling, in an interview, who plays the driver, says, I believe that he is, sorry, that's my dog, but I believe that he is a superhero, a guy who's seen too many movies, and he just got to his head, so he just decided to go out and live out whatever he desired. But talking about the soundtrack again, there was a few songs featured in the movie. One song was played twice. It is Real Hero by College, featuring Electric Youth. It's another kind of electronic song, techno, kind of like that, but slower. It's more calm than Night Call. It could be happy, and then another part of the song could be talking about, you know, real human beings, and then the other half could be talking about heroes. It's not could be, it's what it is talking about in the lyrics, but the song is talking about the guy who landed the plane on the Hudson River. I think it's Patrick or something his name was, but yeah, he was a hero basically, and that's what the song was about. I mean, in the movie Drive, he does not land a plane and save a plane full of people by landing it on the Hudson River, but it's supposed to be because he is a hero in himself, and, you know, in a bunch of other ways, how he sacrifices many other things, such as leaving the girl just for her own protection, who I mentioned earlier, Carey Mulligan. I realized the synopsis was holding me back instead of yeah, it's really just it was just limiting me and distracting me, so I just left it. You know, I don't need that to kind of just hit my dog, but yeah, Night Call, Under Your Spell is a good song. It's romantic, I guess. Most of the songs in the movie were electronic. They're not dubstep, they're just like electronic, techno, kind of slow. Most of them start off slow, maybe they'll pick up at some points, but that was another big thing on the movie. Like I said earlier, the neo-noir aspect, with how it takes place in LA. It's, you know, cops, getaways, mobsters, you know, robberies and stuff. It's not, the whole movie's all action, but it's just, on a realistic level, you realize that if somebody's going to go and set out to do pawn shop robbery, maybe the guy behind the register might just so happen to kill you and ruin certain plans. Not, he didn't kill the driver, but the actor Oscar Isaac, who plays Standard, Irene's wife, died in the pawn shop robbery scene. But you know, that's you know, another death. A lot of people die left and right in the movie. Like I said earlier, spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers in the review. Another thing that I realized in the movie was Albert Brooks, when he kills Bryan Cranston. His name is, you know, Bernie Rose killing Shannon. You know, Shannon is played by Bryan Cranston. Bernie Rose is played by Albert Brooks. But yeah, his death was almost comforted by Bernie Rose. He told him, you know, he even felt remorse, and he even felt bad for killing one of his friends, even though Bryan Cranston was kind of cheap, which slowly falls, you know, because the movie starts out as the criminal life of the driver, and it goes into Carey Mulligan and how he meets her. Her name is Irene, and when he meets her, he wants to get out of the life, and he just keeps getting pulled back into the criminal life. Her husband, who comes back from jail, was there only for a few short moments of the movie, but he ends up dying, like I said, trying to pay off his own debt by robbing the pawn shop place. That was a setup, and the movie just starts to get more and more intense throughout, even though people thought there was going to be a bunch of car chases and explosions and stuff, but the movie was trying to be as realistic as possible, which it kind of was in its own way. And towards the end, like I was saying, with Bryan Cranston getting killed, who was basically the driver's manager, who was going to have him set up with NASCAR driving, but Ron Perlman, who plays Nino, with Bernie Rose, they both screwed both the driver and them over, killing Bryan Cranston. Just, you know, his death being comforted showed it was on a realistic level. Since they were friends, he felt remorse for killing his friend. Like, imagine killing your own friend, but it was for your own good. It's not a nice thing to do, which is why Bryan Cranston was shocked in the scene, you know, when he was still trying to comfort him, even though, him slitting his wrist, Bernie Rose slitting Shannon Bryan Cranston's wrist was killing him and hurting him, but he told him, it was going to be over fast, even though he still killed him. But, after that, the driver finds his body outside the car. He realizes he has the money, and he realizes he has to return it. And what I wanted to show you guys here was he starts talking to, what's his name? The mobster, Nino, at the end, after he kills Ron Perlman for having this whole setup. Really, you'd think Ron Perlman would be last, but, Nino. But Bernie Rose is actually last, and the back of the jacket is a scorpion, which is, I guess, a reference or an allegory to the story of Scorpion and the Frog, which is another big part of the movie. It could be, he tells him the Scorpion and the Frog, and what that is it's like a fable or like a little story about a Scorpion asking the Frog to take him across the river, and the Frog says no, but the Scorpion convinces him, saying, "I won't sting you, I promise." And halfway across the river, he stings him, and they both drown. But while they're drowning, he asks him, "Why'd you sting me?" He says, "It's in my nature." So the driver could go two ways. It could be the driver is violent in nature, and he could never help it. He keeps getting sucked into the criminal lifestyle. But another way it could be is how he keeps getting sucked into the criminal lifestyle because the scorpions that he carries around when he does the getaway, the getaway drives, or not getaway drives, when he's doing the getaway, when he's the getaway driver for all of them, he keeps getting brought back into the criminal lifestyle. Either way, he's losing here, so he decides to give Bernie Rose the money, $300,000 that they stole. Well, it was actually more. It was like 100,000. Oh no, not 100,000. 1 million. I was messing up with zeros there. I was never good in math, but that's you could save that for another video. And after he gives him that, Bernie Rose tells him, "All right, you could go, but you got to leave the girl alone." So when he goes to get the money, Bernie Rose stabs him, and he stabs Bernie Rose back, and he kills Bernie Rose. And the driver, sits there for a few moments in his car while bleeding, and he leaves the money in the parking lot, and he drives away into the night with Real Hero playing, the song that was played when he first was with Irene, which some people, I guess, may have cried, but I mean, I didn't really cry. It was just a sad ending, but it's also happy too, because he let the girl know, Irene, over the phone, that I'm gonna be leaving you, and it's for your own good. He just wants to tell her that they were the best thing that ever happened to him. And yeah, I mean, it was just a really good movie, and it was a bit of a synopsis or an analysis about certain scenes, a review in general, whatever you want to call it. But thanks for watching, and I might make more, so request movies, and I'll watch them and review them. Thanks, guys.